Hi there and welcome back. This is Fia. Today I thought I'd show you, I'm gonna start construction on a miniature shelf to put on the wall. And I thought I'd let you tag along. And this is the base I'm working with. It is a big tray with some handles, but it has the kind of depth and size I want to use, where I figure I could actually build shelf dividers that looks good as well. But to start it off, I bought that. This was about $6, and it's just nice. It's a wooden frame, just so I didn't have to build that part myself. But I don't want the handles. The handles will just be in the way, and they are kind of, you can see that, it's just underneath the camera, nailed in. So I'm just gonna start by trying to remove them, which was quite simple, leaving me with that. But I'm gonna paint this afterwards. I'm just making sure to keep pressure the other way, so I'm not ripping apart the wood too much doing this, since I wanted to be able to hold miniatures. And we've got the other side like that. So this will just be painted over. These I'll keep for now. We'll see. And I have two of these, so I'm going to do this to both of them. I would probably be building the dividers differently on them, so they're not looking the exact same. But what I want to do now is to get some measurements. And I will probably at least have one in this orientation, and I will probably have one in this orientation. But the measurements will be the same because it's the same tray. So what I need now is one of my long rulers. And I like the see-through ones for things like this, because it means I can see the lines. And this one measures about 45 or almost exactly 45.5 centimeters in length. And it measures, I need to twist it so I can see the ruler. Let's see. 33.5 centimeters in width. And then I have this ruler that starts on 0. So I'm going to measure the depth. And it's about 4.9 centimeters in depth. So now I have the measurements for this one, length, width, and depth, which I will need for the next step I'm going to do, which I will show you. For the shelvings, and you won't be able to see the whole sheet, and this is not even a whole sheet, I'm going to use this. This is gray board. It's a type of like chipboard, and this is a thick gray board. I think the measurements of this one is about 3 millimeters. Let's see. Yeah, 4 millimeters even thick. And I'm gonna use this to make the actual shelvings, and to put it all together, I'm gonna use strips of cardstock. Now I'm just gonna show you here, or thick paper. This is a 250 gram piece of copy paper. I'm gonna make just like hinges, like this. They might not be this thick, like broad. That I'm gonna put, if we have the strip of paper like this, and this is one of the edges is gonna go on, I'm gonna put it like this. Let's see if you can see. Like this. And one on the other side as well. So it will be supported on two places. And I'm also gonna put shelves in between. So the supports are gonna go, or the fastening part of the shelvings will be like this. And then I'm gonna paint it all. So that's my next mission, is to actually cut all the pieces of paper out. And for that, I'm just gonna use one of these, a metal ruler. I have a really big A1 size cutting board that I have in my living room, that I usually use on the floor for stuff like this. And one of these, which is a rotating cutting blade. And these ones are actually interesting, because when it comes to cutting like chipboard and stuff, it's actually a bit easier when they're a bit dull, which is really strange. So I'm just gonna measure it out with something like this, and then I'm gonna use my ruler and carefully just go over it over and over again until I've cut through it. And that's it. So I'm gonna do that, and then I will probably be back to show you the rest. So see you then. Bye. So hi there again. I've been doing a bit of work on my display shelves for miniatures. Also been a project that's been sitting for a couple of weeks because I've been too tired to work on it. But I did get some parts done. And I'm going to show you. These are the hinges I talked about previously. I made these an inch wide and scored them in the middle, so it's a 1/2 inch on each side. And what I've done is glue them like this and side cut the corners so they don't like overlap or get in the way when I'm gonna glue them down, which is so this is a simple system to do this. So as you can see, I've glued them on both sides, and since I'm using A4 paper and this is 250 gram just printer paper, I've made sure to keep the cut pieces on different places, so it's not a joint on the same place. And I've also cut the pieces I'm gonna use in between, but I haven't glued any paper hinges to these yet. And I'm gonna show you how I'm thinking. Here I've drawn out how my shelves look in smaller scale. So I have this, and this is gonna be a shelving that is laying down, so a portrait or landscape style shelf. This one is gonna be my portrait style shelf, because I want these to go across, and then I want the supports or the dividers to be supports for these long going shelves. So I've decided I wanted two on the portrait one. I wanted two that were 10 centimeter high, one that was 5, one that was 8, one that was 6, and this one I think is this one is, I've forgotten to write it down. The last one is 2.6. I think. So I took my on this one, so I can fit different height miniatures in these cubbies. So I cut all my thick chipboard using a rolling knife and a metal long ruler, and I cut them to the right depth, which is 4.9 centimeters. I'm in Sweden, so I work in metrics, and 2 long strips. And then I went in and cut all the strips I needed for the landscape style shelving, and I did the same for the portrait style shelving. Then I went in and cut pieces, and I wrote on each piece how high they are. So this one is a 9 centimeter, so it's going to be on the 9 centimeter shelf. This one is a 5 centimeter, and so on and so forth. So what I need to do now, and I'm just going to show you, I'm not going to do this on camera because it's not really easy to show it on a nice way anyways, is first of all I'm going to mark up here. So I'm going to put in the first shelf. I'm going to mark out, let's say the first one for this is going to be 5 centimeters. So I'm going to measure out, get a better ruler, sorry if I shook you. I'm going to measure out 5 centimeters. With a pen. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. It's hard to get all of this on camera. So here I have my line. I'm going to put glue on all of this backside, and I'm going to slide it in on the 5 centimeter mark. So the 5 centimeter mark is going to be on the bottom part of this shelf piece, and it's a tight fit, but it doesn't bend the chipboard. Then I'm going to go in and put hinges. Like so. Make sure it's square. Put hinges on this and put it in. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to put it on the middle of the of the line. I forgot how I decided to. And I'm going to put hinges on this and put it in every now and then how many I want on this particular shelf. And then I'm going to measure out from this shelf to the next shelf. So I'm always working one divider at a time, just to making sure I get the measurements right. So in the end, if the top one isn't properly correct, I can fix the dividers better. So this is what I'm gonna do for now, and I'll come back if I find out I need to tell you some tip or something, or when I'm done doing this to both of my shelves. So I'll see you in a while. Bye. Okay, so I've glued the supporting shelves on, and for me this is right now upside down. And what I found is, first of all, you need to use a lot of glue to make sure everything sticks properly. I'm gonna do this one up just as I've done all my other shelves, which you can see. I have a video on it. I'm not gonna show you how I finish this off at all, because I've already shown that. But here is the first shelf we started, and on this one I needed to put the chipboard on the middle of the line. For the subsequent ones, I needed to put it at the bottom of the shelving unit shelf. And something you really need to do is always, when you put in the next shelf, go in and just check that the sizing is good all the way. So you have a chance to move the last shelf, because it dries pretty quickly. It's paper to wood. And then just make sure that all your edges of paper are glued down nicely. So now I'm gonna do the exact same thing to my other shelf, and then I'm gonna go in and start gluing the sides or the hinges for all the support pieces in, and then I'm gonna glue them in. So yeah, make sure you have plenty of glue. Go in and add extra if you need it. Make sure it's flat, and like I'm gonna put wallpaper on the backs of these, so I'm gonna hide the hinges that you're gonna be able to see mostly. I'm not gonna put anything on the shelves themselves, which means you're gonna have a little bit of a lip, since it's 250 gram paper, so it has some thickness to it. But I'm gonna paint it all white, so it probably won't it won't bother me that much anyways. So that's it for now, and I'll be back later. Bye. Okay, so I thought I'd show you how I go on to do the hinges on my little supports or shelves, or all of them. First of all, you're gonna get glue all over your hands, and you need to remove some of it every now and then, otherwise it's gonna stick to the rest of the glue. So I usually I always pre-make a lot of hinges. I use these in making albums and stuff too. Then I just go in and I side cut it, angle cut it, and just check how far I need it, and cut it, turn it over, put plenty of glue. Then I go in and just make sure that the fold is even with the cut edge. And this is just to make it certain that it sticks, but it also has a chance to, if the shelving is too short somewhere, it has the chance to fold a little bit more. But if it's just even, it's gonna be a perfect fit. Then I just take where I cut last, do the same thing. I'm always taking the folded edge, making it as long as I need it to be. Putting glue on, and the same thing, making sure I get it as much as I can level with the cut edge. And then when I go to glue this, and I do this on 3 sides because it's gonna stick in like this, so I need 3 sides with these hinges. So I just do this like this. And when I go in to glue it, I glue on the cut side of the chipboard, and I glue this on all sides, and then I stick it in and press it and wipe off excess glue, and it becomes really sturdy actually. I built storage units using this method, so I just thought I'd show you that. So see you in a bit. Okay, so I'm done. Zooming you out, gluing all my separating and support pieces in, and this is super sturdy now. I don't know how to show you, but it is super sturdy. And I might go in. I don't know if you can see, but here there are small gaps. I think I accidentally angled this piece a little bit this way. But there's small gaps here. I don't know if I'm just gonna paint it or go in and fill them with some caulking or something and let it dry. But what I have left now, and for that I already have a video on how I make my shelving units look similar, so they fit together. So you can go and look at that for how it will look when it's finished. But I'm gonna paint them and put some wallpaper in the backs of the cubbies. But I thought I'd try to show you what the end result looks like. So this one is facing the right way. So the top tier will be just open because it's the smallest space. And then we have some semi-big cubbies, some big cubbies, some smaller cubbies, bigger cubbies, and in the bottom some bigger cubbies again. And then for the other one that is a landscape layout, we have in the top some smaller cubbies separated into longer ones and smaller ones. And as you can see, it goes big, smaller, smaller, smallest. And I think this will be really nice. It's about 2 inches deep, so I can fit a 2-inch base in these cubbies, which is nice. I'm also gonna, on the back at the top, after I painted it, put some holders so I can put this, mount these on my wall. But as you can see, this one also super sturdy. It's not going anywhere. The shelving is stuck as it can get. And the paint I'm gonna use is first some gesso, and then some white matte acrylic paint, and then, as I said, wallpaper, and that I'm gonna also use. I'm gonna use some matte medium to fasten it. And what I can say, just a tip, if you decide to do something like this for yourself, is make sure you measure really well. And check between each layer you're making, and check more than one of the boards that you have measured for it, just so you make sure that you're not having to do double work. So I have some places where, like this shelf, it's a bit shallower than the others. It doesn't bother me that much, and you won't see it that much, but mostly it's pretty flush, and I could go in and like shave this down to match it properly. I'm not gonna bother doing that, but just make sure you go in and just double check everything, and so it's even here on each side and also in the middle. So that's it. That's how you build some nice mini storage to display your minis, painted or otherwise. You could also just get hinges and fasten some plexiglass and make little doors for this. I'm not gonna do that, but it shouldn't be that hard. I've thought about it, and I also have plexiglass at home for other uses, but I'm not gonna bother, at least not for now. So that's it. I hope you get inspired. I hope you have an awesome day, and thanks for watching. Bye.